All right, so this is where we have S99 Ghost and White Magneto bans. White Magneto ban, last time this happened, deaths kind of skyrocketed. So let's see how this goes. All right, so Spot Boss, you've got Blade and you've got Fury. Mephisto back there, you've got Void and maybe Warlock or Quake. Sasquatch there, Apocalypse or Titania. Maw, you have Overseer and Omega Red, Atuma, Omega Red, and Havoc, Doom, Quicksilver, Titania, Archangel, Korg, Omega Red, Kitty Pryde, and then Joe, any of the debuff detox options, Valkyrie or Fury. 1 through 3 on the way out, Infamous Doom, Gallon or Hulkling, Path 1, Venom or Anti-Venom there, Falcon is your top option, and then any of the debuff detox, and then Hulkling there, you could probably nuke him down with degen with Mojo, or you can use Wiccan. Path 2, Mordo, you have Doom, and you have Titania, and then Weapon X, you have Omega Sentinel and Nimrod with Odin Pre-Fights. And then Path 3, Mangog, you have Titania, Overseer, and then Omega Sentinel, you have Nebula and Gallon. 4 through 6 on the way out, Rintraw. You have Mr. Negative, Titania, and Kitty Pryde or Doom. On the way in, Bishop, you have Rolk and Kitty Pryde. Path 4, Immortal Abomination. You have any of the debuff detox options. Overseer is going to be your best because of the poison immune. And then Fury, Havoc, probably your top option. Even Kitty Pryde could work there. Path 5, Quicksilver, you have Mole Man, you have Kingpin, you have Fury, and then Wong, you could use Titania Rolk. Path 6, Scorpion, either of the Magnetos will work. And then for Kitty Pryde, Nimrod or Cap Sam. 7 through 9 on the way out, Mojo, you can Archangel that down or use Titania. Terrax on the way in, Colossus or Kingpin, you could try to risk. And then Path 7, Nimrod, you've got Nebula or Medusa, I guess. I'm sure there's another option I'm just not really thinking of right now. And then Mole Man, you have Apocalypse, can probably get away with Archangel as well. Just kind of risky without that White Magneto pre-fight. Omega Red, that's who I was actually thinking of. Omega Red and Apocalypse for Mole Man. Path 8, Wiccan, you can use Titania, or you can use an Incinerate immune or an ability accuracy immune like Archangel, and then Human Torch, Havoc, or Archangel. Path 9, Gallon, you could use Blade, or you could go in with Kingpin, and then for Domino, you've got Nimrod, Warlock, Ultron, and an Odin pre-fight just to be safe. All right, 1 through 3, section 2 on the way in, you have a Null. Overseer is going to be your top option. You can probably squeeze in a Hood or Symbiote Supreme as well. Spam, Venom or Venom Pull, maybe even Falcon, but it's going to get a bit risky with the Bubble Shield and Lock-On falling off. But your debuff detox options should help you, and just throw special ones. Void, your top option, Falcon, and then Havoc, Ultron, probably following right behind. 1 through 3 on the way out, Mr. Fantastic. Any debuff, detox option, Falcon has an easier time with preventing the second hit of careful study while locked on. Path 1, either of the Magnetos for Nova or Doom. Path 2, Titania or Ant-Man for Chavez. Path 3, Gallon or Hulkling for that Cosmic Ghost Rider. 4 through 6 on the way out, Killmonger. You've got Omega Red, probably is your top option, and then Apocalypse. Path 4, Sorcerer Supreme. I would throw Overseer there, and then, or maybe Havoc. And then for Valkyrie, I would go with a mutant debuff detox option. So Havoc and then Kitty Pryde, probably your top options. Path 5 there, Man-Thing, Titania, or Mr. Negative, or Omega Red. And then Thing, Fury, or Valkyrie. And then Path 6, really anyone for Invisible Woman, Fury, and then any of your skill debuff detox options are going to really excel. 7 through 9 on the way out, Penny, just go with Kingpin. You can also use Hulkling. Path 7, Kingpin, you have Omega Red and Apocalypse, and then for Arcus you have Hood and Symbiote Supreme. Path 8, Silver Surfer, really anyone. Probably just go with Hood and Symbiote Supreme because that's usually who you need later. And then Path 9, Tigra, go ahead and risk maybe Kingpin, Overseer, and then for Apocalypse, really anyone. I think I took that with a Nebula once, but you could use any of those tech robot options. So that does it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so War 10 is against Jedi Assassins. Today I'll be taking in Wiccan for the first time, Void, and Falcon. I don't have a path in Section 1, but I have a shared fight in Section 1. I have a middle mini-boss, I have Path 1 in Section 2, and then a mini-boss on Boss Island. Alright, so White Magneto is banned. That makes this Mr. Fantastic here significantly harder, just with keeping up with strike counter. We found out one war that strike counter was not being prevented with Locked On, so I have to actually play it or ignore it and just very quickly get a special out before Furies build up. So I was going to only trigger Masochism once in the strike counter rotation so that I could get an easy parry heavy to get that part of strike counter out of the way. I PS1 and skill boosts here so that I can cycle special 2s instead of triggering Masochism with the bleed. Yes, an argument can be made that after a special 1, I would just parry heavy instead of doing the parry. But anyways, we were expecting hits into our block when we got hit by that special 1. And I'm still trying to play parry heavy, medium light, medium light, medium light, light into a special attack. And a second ago there we had debuffs on us, so I was actually just trying to trigger the debuff immunity from the tactic. But after spending that time in the corner and working into that debuff immunity, we finally get ourselves out of the corner there, and we get our second special 2. And then we throw our third there. We're going to have to wait this out. It's fine. Strike counter has been reset. He's got no Furies, so we actually played this pretty well, all things considered, at least. We're going to lock on here while we're against the wall. Didn't mean to parry there. Just worked out with the timing. Now just waiting for him to either attack into me or heavy and then finish it there with that special 2. So I was kind of worried about that fight, but helps that you build those cruelty passives. We move on. Void here, definitely worried about this fight. Not having a White Magneto pre-fight really only matters for the attack bonus. We're still almost never going to have a debuff on us or have a debuff stick. So the insult to injury is not a big deal. So we don't really need the longer stun duration. If anything, it helps kind of waste time for Locked On to recover. But here, Locked On, I'm going to stick to special 1s here. We're not going to cycle special 2s. And that's just because of this aggressive prowess. We want to get rid of it or keep it at a minimum as much as possible so that we do not end up taking a bunch of block damage from special attacks after spending time just waiting around for Locked On to get off cooldown. Now, an argument can be made that you could probably parry heavy or even parry and throw an attack due to the tactic when your Locked On is on cooldown. But it's not really actually that much of a risk here. I did end up popping in Vuln. It is because of that aggressive prowess. You would absolutely hate to take a special attack here and lose almost all of your health while he's got all the prowess. So going smooth here. It's just unfortunate that this is pretty much the best counter and we're taking a bunch of block damage for it. It does not help that my Falcon is a lower SIG and only rank 3. Probably in future seasons, I'm going to hold on to rank 3s and wait for a situation like the past few seasons, actually probably a year worth of seasons, where if I end up with a niche attacker and just taking problematic fights. I at least have that attacker at a rank 4. Rank 4. Void goes down. Third fight of the war that I was most worried about. We move on. Sorry, second fight I was worried about. This is the third. This rank 4 Anti-Venom here. Just every war, this is always a sketchy fight. I don't end up dying, but it always seems just so sketchy, and I blame the large XL champs when it comes to trying to bait out special attacks and them just constantly swinging and never really throwing the special. So we get the debuff immunity there. We're locked on. We're going to work ourselves out of the corner. We got rid of the debuff with the debuff immunity, so now he's not going to regen when we hit him. And I'm actually not caring about special 1 because I don't feel like baiting it, and I feel like he's willing to throw special 2. And unfortunately there, the debuff worked its way back in, so now we have to work it off. Unfortunately, locked on was not ready to be on cooldown. We mess up a block situation there, which eats up our invulnerability. Now locked on is ready. We've triggered it. We got pushed to special 3 during that whole debacle. And instead of throwing it now, I'm going to wait until he throws his next special attack, which is going to be this special 2. She's very quick to throw, so I'm very happy about that. Special 3 just to work our way out of the corner and then get to the special attacks we actually want to throw. And now we're whittling him down, coming to the third special 2. And luckily it just takes a couple swings for him to finally throw it. And then we have to wait for this last locked on phase to finish the fight. At this point, I'm still somewhat worried about the fight. I mean, our invulnerability is gone. We needed to get locked on again, and there's just a risk of him not throwing specials. But he throws this special 1, which pretty much gives me hope. And this special 2 obviously hits really hard and puts us in a great position to finish and win the fight. So, third fight I was worried about out. This one here, Hulkling. Wiccan is a super good call. Was not at the top of my mind when I saw Hulkling here. And I figured I'd be taking him. But really, you're just going to pay attention to keeping Neutralize up. And as long as you have Neutralize up, you don't worry about any buffs. And you actually don't worry about the node, since it's buffet over time, and that prevents that regen. So we won't have an unblockable Hulkling. However, if for some reason we do, a duped Wiccan can take care of unblockable attacks. So I thought the shield got up there. It didn't. Our Neutralize fell, but I got it up at the end of that combo into special 2. Kind of got pushed here with special attacks and Mystic Dispersion. You can see Hulkling's pretty much done. We get the shield there, so our spells are paused, and down goes Hulkling. Super satisfying and easy fight. So move on to our last fight, Void here against Mephisto. Semi worried about this, semi wasn't. It's just kind of like a patient RNG fight at the start. And what I'm actually going to do once you get the 2 Petrifies up, it's somewhat over. You just still play slow until Fear of the Void, and then it's pretty much over from there. You're never truly super aggressive in this fight. You just kind of let Mephisto die. And we did not have an opening to bring Reed and place his pre-fights. That makes the start of this a lot easier, especially if RNG is not on your side. But I start out with a Petrify, so already RNG's on my side. Did a lot of parry heavy or parry and weight at the start until we got debuffs up. There's the second Petrify, and now we're going to speed this up because all it is Mephisto throwing special 1s and slowly gaining power while I kind of just, mess around to just let him DOT over time. That's redundant. Just to let him melt. So one more debuff. We're going to go into Fear of the Void. I was trying to get that special 1 out, and then I saw the timer and messed that whiff up there. So instead of throwing the special 1, I waited for Fear of the Void. So now we got Petrify again. First debuff outside of Fear of the Void. So definitely RNG on our side. We had an invulnerability boost for this fight in case we did get pushed, or in case we did push Mephisto to special 3. Also had a SB3 defense boost in case something happened and we needed to actually just take the special 3 without invulnerability. But Void, still a key role in attack here and there. Used him quite a bit this season compared to others, and down goes Mephisto. So that was the end of my war. Not a heavy load, but important fights. Our battle group actually did not have a very good war. We went 4 to their 1. We actually lost this war 4-6. So it was pretty interesting to be this close to a top alliance. And I'm pretty happy with this season. We're pretty consistent with our death range, and the White Magneto pre-fight did not prove to increase our deaths. So we definitely showed up and rose to the occasion. We're still around our average, which is 7 deaths per war. So pretty proud of that with where we're at. Hope you enjoyed the war video. Hit subscribe and give this video a like, and I will catch you guys at the next war.